3 ways to clear out your schedule by 80% part 2.
So the big question is this: how do you become the cloud expert in your area without having to make any investments in hardware and software? Who provides customers with a secure cloud foundation? How do you start in a way that lets you offer your products and services and start making money straight from the beginning? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Marcel Wachtens, and welcome to Cloud Secrets.
Hey, welcome back. Nice to have you here. Cloud Secrets podcast, Marcel Wachtens again. And today I'm going to talk about part 2 of how I free up my schedule for at least 80%. And the second option is by automating your tasks or things. Because when you automate it, you need to make sure that it happens on a consistent basis, in the same way that you or one of your people would do. And to give you an example, we provide backup online as a service, and for that we charge the customer the quota that we reserve for them. And when that we've got monitoring on it, and when it triggers that the customer is using 90% or more, the system will generate an email and send it to our support desk so they can increase the quota, so that the customer can keep backing up all their data. Afterwards, when they update the quota, they need to adjust the contract, so billing gets accordingly, to increase the numbers of size that they use or can use, and change the contract to just the amount of size that they use, so billings get done correctly. And afterwards they need to close the ticket and inform the customer that that quota has been increased and that they don't need to worry, and we make sure they can keep backupping all their data. But normally this task takes like 5 to 10 minutes for a person to carry out, and it's a lot of fault. If somebody gets a call in between, they get disrupted and they forget to increase the contract, so we leave money on the table. And by automating this task or this sequence of tasks, we not only can eliminate it from some person. I don't know, we got it like 40 to 60 times a week now that we need to increase quotas, times 5-minute average. Go count, it's going to free up a lot of time that we can spend on other projects, other tasks, instead of hiring more staff. So that's why I gave the order to automate that particular task, for example. And that's what I do with every task that comes up my desk. I ask my question: can I delegate it or can I automate it? And in part 3, I'm going to talk about another one. So because it's going to be a 3-part series. But by automating a lot of those tasks, you can free up an enormous amount of time, and also it's done 24/7 because it's going automatically. So you never are limited down to business hours or whatever. It's on a consistent basis every single moment of the day, which is a huge advantage because in this case, when the backup online exceeds 90%, it's going to be updated with more space within, few minutes, and we can make sure that the customer can perform their job instead of canceling it when he's out of quota or out of size, or you know what I mean? So ask yourself the following question: how many tasks or things at my plate can I delegate in a correct way? And let's recap the delegation. You just don't want to delegate the task to somebody else, but you also want to make sure that they perform the task on a consistent basis with the same output that you would provide. So within the same time, within the same amount of time spent and within the deadline, or if you got a deadline, right? You know what I mean. So count the number of tasks that you can delegate that way. And the second question you need to ask yourself is, how many tasks can I automate? Because when you got a task, a repetitive task that at least, I don't know, maybe 10 times a week occurs and it takes you 5 minutes, you can free up almost an hour by automating it. So when you spend like $1,000 to automate it, it's going to earn itself back in no time, because you can have more time to help more customers, get more offers out of the door, sign up more contracts, or onboard new customers, take the advantage where it is. So that's it for part 2. Next week I'm going to record part 3, and I'd love to see you then. Thank you very much. Bye bye, Marcel Martens.
If you're just starting out, you're probably studying a lot. That's good. You're probably geeking out on all the strategies also, right? That's also good. But the hardest part is figuring out what the market wants to buy and how you can implement it in a way that always gives you the same result, right? That's what I struggled with for a while, until I learned the formula. So I created a special mastermind called CloudMind to get you on track with the right services. More importantly, the right tools to migrate your customers in a way that guarantees success every single time. Wanna come? There are small groups on purpose, so I can answer your direct questions in person. You can hold your spot by going to cloud-secrets.com/cloudmind. Again, that's cloud-secrets.com/cloudmind.